So for the 5 people that actually care about my opinion when going to movies, and the 20 people that actually watch this, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. I had finals and such. But for everyone else who kind of just gives me a pity watch, I'm back. So like I get to know you on Snapchat and all that stuff again. Today we were talking about Star Wars. Actually, not Star Wars. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Very different. So Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is the story about how the plans of the Death Star were stolen before A New Hope. So this is taking place between Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and then New Hope. And the movie ends right before New Hope gets started. For those who don't already know, this is a spin-off story. This is not a Star Wars movie. This is a Star Wars story. With that in mind, this is not your standard Star Wars movie. You see Star Wars things, there are Star Wars stuff, but this is not Star Wars. So keep that in mind before going to see this movie. Hitting up the cast real quick. This was a solid cast. Let's just dive into it real quick. So we got Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso, pretty much leading the pack. She did a great job. She was, she didn't do a great job. I didn't really care about her character at all. Maybe I'm being a dick about it. I don't know. It just felt like she was waiting to give a speech every like 10 seconds, and I don't understand where these speeches would come from. She was kind of a weird character. She was weird. I didn't connect to her for some reason. I don't know why. Just for some reason, there wasn't a connection to her. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I just went into this movie bitter because I actually thought there was people I was gonna go see it with, and I thought they were gonna ditch me. So I was like lightweight butthurt before seeing it, and then they joined me. But then I still think I had that bad vibe, like the bad force around me. You know, I don't know. She acted fine. She did a good performance, but the character I didn't really connect to, and maybe that's just me. Then we got Diego Luna playing pretty much JV Han Solo, and he was, again, okay. The performance was fine. The character didn't care about, didn't really connect to. There just wasn't something there. I just couldn't grasp onto these first 2 characters that were leading the movie. And I think that's where my biggest struggle was, is that I didn't really grab onto these first 2 characters, and so then the rest of the movie was kind of like, under it. We also got Alan Tudyk as K2SO, and K2SO was a fun droid. He had some good moments. He had some badass moments. So he was a really fun part, a really interesting droid to have in the system. We've had the cute ones with BB-8. We had the annoying ones with C-3PO. And we've had the badass ones with like the battle droids and the Attack of the Clones. So it was cool to see a different kind of droid that kind of was quippy, had some badass moments, was different look. He was a pretty cool addition. Thumbs up for me on that one. And then we got Donnie Yen. I don't remember the character's name, but it's a blind dude who believed in the Force. This fool was badass. I believe Donnie Yen was actually one of the dude that was starring in Ip Man, and those movies are badass. And Donnie Yen was fantastic in this movie. He was not a Jedi, but he believed in the Force. I am one of the Force is with me. I am one with the Force is with me. He was freaking great. I loved every scene he was in. He believed in the Force. I loved him. He was the best character in the movie for me. By far, without a doubt. So it sounds like I'm kind of giving this movie a lot of shit. That's not the case. This movie had a lot of good parts. There were some fun action sequences. There were some new worlds we got to see, and that's what's great about Star Wars. You get to see new worlds, all that stuff. It's great. If you're a Star Wars fan, this movie's so for you because there's so much more being built, and if you're even a deeper Star Wars fan that goes in the expanded universe, you probably recognize some things. But an issue I have with this movie is the fact that this story does not need to be told at all. It's the same issue I had with Finding Dory. It's the same issue I have with a lot of sequels. This story did not need to be told at all. I never watched Star Wars and thought, man, I really wonder how they got those Death Star plans. I wonder how badass this fool was in his prime. I wonder how Obi-Wan Kenobi got to be such a badass. I wonder how Luke got his green lightsaber. These are things I actually wonder. I don't give a shit about how they got the Death Star plans, but we make an entire movie out of it with lead characters, great supporting characters. I'll give them that, great supporting characters. And it's just, I didn't care. This was a story that did not need to be told at all. And for some reason, I just could not get connected. One thing they did very well, though, that the director did, and that hasn't really been seen in any Star Wars movies, was the perspective, the scale. We never really have seen how big the AT-ATs are, how big the Death Star really is, how big these Star Destroyers really are. And we see them on these ground level stuff, and we see how massive they are. And that was a really cool part of this movie. I gotta tip my Santa hat to that holiday season. I love Christmas. You know, just gotta say that. Love Christmas. Anyway, so we got to really tip of the hat there. They did a great job showing us how big these Star Destroyers were. And that was a really cool addition. The director, I think Gareth Edwards, he directed the Godzilla movie, and he did a good job with the whole scale perspective thing then, and he did a great job in this movie as well. With that being said, this movie was fun. Good popcorn movie. There's some great moments that I will get into after I give the review, give the grade, and then I will have a spoiler after. So overall, this movie is getting a go see it on cheap seat night. This is a fun movie. Don't throw all your money at this movie. It frustrates me that this is something that's happening, that Disney's going to be doing a lot. You know, there are some things I like that they did in Force Awakens, some things I didn't, that I'll get into more in the spoiler section. But this movie was not necessary. With that being said, go see it. It's fun. Go see movies. I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I have a shirt with Vader flexing. When I first moved here, I went and bought a lightsaber. And, like, just so I didn't feel like a total dumbass, I'm like, oh, I'll get a haircut at the same time to make myself more adult. Turns out, this goddamn town doesn't have a Disney store. God fucking damn it. But, you know, that's another issue. I love Star Wars. And the fact that this movie was not up to Star Wars, you know, level, disappoints me. You know, this movie disappointed me, but doesn't mean this was a bad movie. This is a cheap seat movie. Go see it. It's a good time. This movie gets a cheap seat rating. So now we're in the spoiler section, so put it right there, right next to Vader. You guys like my Vader shirt, though? This is bro science. I love that good dude anyway. So, spoiler right there. Probably my hands, I'll have it flashing for maybe 10 seconds or so. Anyway, back to it. So, this movie had a lot of weird cameos and nods to the old franchise, stuff like that, and that really, it took me out of the movie. Like, I didn't give a shit about them. Like, we saw the two guys that were giving Luke shit in the bar, the cantina on Tatooine, they somehow show up in this movie, and it adds nothing to the movie at all, and it was really distracting, it was really stupid, and I just didn't give a shit. And then they have R2 and C-3PO in there for some reason, and I don't give a shit. They have Bail Organa in there, who does nothing. They have all these stupid cameos in there that didn't bring the movie up in any way, shape, or form, and it was frustrating. I just didn't care about them. With that being said, holy fuck, Darth Vader. Oh my fucking god. He was in the movie for, I think, maybe 5 minutes. By far, the best 5 minutes I think I've seen in any movie this year. At least the best, cameo. Best cameo I've maybe ever seen in my life. You know, 5 minutes. When you saw him on screen, you felt the presence of Darth Vader. And that was something I've never really got to feel growing up. When I was younger, I just watched Star Wars, and it's just going through over and over again, going right over my head, all the quality, all this shit, Vader being the greatest villain of all time, went over my head. I didn't give a shit. Whatever. And then watching Star Wars now, I don't feel it because I've seen it so many times. And then I see this movie, and then Vader comes in, and he just has this presence, and you feel, whenever you see him on screen, you're just waiting for someone to die. And you're just on the edge of your seat, and you felt his presence like no other, and it was incredible. And in the last 5 minutes of this movie, you see him just destroy a room full of, I think 15 guards, and it was fucking amazing. Oh my god, I want to see a whole movie of that. Even though we pretty much saw 6 movies of Darth Vader, I want one of Darth Vader in his prime, give me a couple months before this movie, show me Vader wrecking shop. Oh my god, that was so great. The scene starts with him, and it's just black, and you just hear his little fucking, and it was so great. And then the lightsaber turns on, and then everyone's shooting, and he's just flailing that shit around. He's all flying him around, and then he puts a dude up on the ceiling, and then he's just kind of flailing it, and then just slices the dude on the ceiling, like no big deal. Like, oh yeah, remember that dude up there? I'm gonna slice his bitch ass in half. That was awesome. That almost saved the movie for me. If the rest of the movie was a little more, if I was a little more engaged with the characters in the movie, I might have actually gone away like, this is the greatest movie of all year. But It wasn't. That scene was fantastic. Almost worth admission. I paid like $12. It was worth that scene was worth $5. At least $5. So if you go cheap seat night, you're getting your money's worth, I promise. With that being said, all the not really spoilers, but kind of spoilers. Oh yeah, hold on, bullshit. I hated the fact that they like connected the fact that blowing up the Death Star is like a plan of Jyn Erso's father. Like fuck that. Make that be actual, like just a thing that they discover. I don't need this to all be connected. I don't need plot things to be tied together. I don't give a fuck about that. Let some things just be. I don't need all these connecting tissues, all these layers that didn't need to be there in the first place. So that actually really pissed me off. I don't give a shit about what Jyn Erso's father actually did. Just let the movie be. Don't try to connect things that weren't broken. You know, so that's, god damn, that pissed me off. Okay, with that small rant and all that other stuff I said, so way back, this movie is a good time. Trust me, it's a fun movie. Star Wars, all that good stuff. It's got the feel, it's got the look. It's a good time, I promise. Go see it on cheap seat night and ignore all my stupid nerd rants. I just love Star Wars. So if any of these mouth noises made your ear holes to hokey pokey, turn yourself around, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for future content, future movie reviews, hopefully new movie pitches. I'm working on that right now. I'm just trying to get the wheels turning and have yourself a kick-ass day. Wow.